Have you ever seen a player so frustrated that they threw their racket? Not because they were losing, but because they couldn't solve the puzzle standing across the net? That was the shocking scene that unfolded in Berlin. The crowd fell silent. Not because of a match point. Not because of a controversial call. But because one of the most powerful players in women's tennis had just completely lost her composure. Standing on the opposite side of the court was a calm, fearless 23-year-old left-hander who never celebrated, never reacted, and never looked intimidated. She simply bounced the ball and prepared for the next point. The final score says Elena Rybakina survived in 3 sets. But the real story? It wasn't about who won. It was about the blueprint that may have exposed one of the biggest weaknesses in modern power tennis. And once you understand what really happened in this match, you'll never look at Elena Rybakina or Alexandra Eala the same way again. Before this match even began, Elena Rybakina looked nearly unstoppable. Everything about her game had reached another level. Her serve had become one of the most feared weapons on the WTA Tour, regularly flying close to 190 km/h. Opponents barely had time to react before the point was already slipping away. But it wasn't just the speed. It was what came after. Every big serve set up another crushing forehand. Every return that landed a little short was punished instantly. Rybakina wasn't simply winning points. She was erasing rallies before they even had a chance to develop. Coming into Berlin, many believed grass courts would make her even more dangerous. The lower bounce, the faster surface, the quicker points, everything seemed designed for her style of tennis. On paper, this looked like another routine victory. But tennis isn't played on paper, and Alexandra Eala wasn't interested in following the script. Unlike many players who try to overpower Rybakina, Eala approached the match with an entirely different philosophy. She wasn't trying to hit harder. She was trying to think smarter. As a left-hander, she already presented unusual angles that most opponents rarely face. But what truly separated her wasn't her handedness. It was her ability to manipulate the geometry of the court. Every slice stayed low. Every looping ball changed the rhythm. Every short angle forced opponents farther outside the doubles alley. Instead of ending points quickly, Eala stretched them. She made every rally uncomfortable. Every shot demanded another decision, another adjustment, another chance for frustration to creep in. It wasn't flashy. It was surgical. Just 1 week earlier, Eala had captured the Birmingham title using this exact formula. She didn't overpower opponents. She slowly dismantled them. That confidence traveled with her into Berlin. From the opening games, however, reality looked brutal. Rybakina exploded out of the gate. She raced to a commanding 4-1 lead. Her serves were untouchable. Her forehands were laser-guided missiles. Every time Eala attempted to build a point, Rybakina seemed to erase it with a single swing. To most viewers, it looked finished. Another dominant performance. Another reminder of why Rybakina is one of the most feared players on tour. But something subtle was happening beneath the surface. Something the scoreboard couldn't show. Instead of panicking, Eala quietly began changing the rhythm. She stopped trying to match Rybakina's pace. She added height to her shots. She slowed the rallies. She sent looping balls deep into the backhand corner. She forced Rybakina to generate her own pace instead of feeding off incoming power. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't obvious. But little by little, the match started changing. And then came the biggest factor of all, the left-handed geometry. Against most opponents, Rybakina's wide serve creates immediate control of the point. It's one of her biggest weapons. But against a left-hander like Eala, everything changes. The spin behaves differently. The return comes back from unexpected angles. Instead of setting up an easy forehand, Rybakina suddenly found herself pulled wide. Instead of attacking, she was defending. For the first time in the match, her pattern stopped working. Not because she was playing poorly, because the court suddenly felt different. Every familiar shot now required tiny adjustments. Tiny adjustments become small errors. Small errors become frustration. And frustration spreads quickly at the highest level. You could see it building. A missed forehand here, a late reaction there, a confused glance toward her coaching box. The woman known for staying calm under pressure suddenly looked uncomfortable. Meanwhile, Eala remained completely expressionless.
No fist bumps, no celebrations, no emotional outbursts.
Just complete focus. Point after point, ball after ball. She was asking one simple question. Can you keep solving this puzzle? Eventually, the answer became no. During one tense rally, after another uncharacteristic mistake, Rybakina finally snapped. Her racket flew through the air. The entire stadium froze. For a brief moment, nobody cared about the score. Everyone was staring at one image. One of the most composed players in tennis had completely lost her patience. And perhaps the most chilling part? Alexandra Eala didn't react at all. She simply walked to the baseline, bounced the ball, looked across the net, and waited. That silence spoke louder than any celebration ever could. Because in that moment, it wasn't just a racket being thrown. It was confidence beginning to crack. What happened next completely changed the match. With every passing game, Alexandra Eala's strategy became impossible to ignore. She wasn't trying to overpower Elena Rybakina. She was taking away the one thing Rybakina depends on most: control. Every deep return landed near the center of the court. Every sliced backhand stayed frustratingly low. Every looping shot forced Rybakina to generate her own pace instead of feeding off easy power. It looked simple, but it was incredibly calculated. Instead of allowing Rybakina to finish points in 2 or 3 shots, Eala dragged every rally into unfamiliar territory. 5 shots, 7 shots, 10 shots. The longer the rallies became, the more uncomfortable the Australian Open champion looked. For perhaps the first time in weeks, Rybakina wasn't dictating. She was reacting. And that's exactly where Eala wanted her. The pressure slowly began to shift. The mistakes started appearing. Forehands missed by inches. Backhands sailed long. Even routine shots suddenly looked difficult. You could almost see the frustration building after every rally. This wasn't because Rybakina had forgotten how to play. It was because every instinct she relied on was being challenged. Her biggest weapons no longer produced easy winners. Instead, they produced one extra shot, then another, and another. That single adjustment changed everything. The second set became a tactical masterpiece. Every point felt like a chess match instead of a boxing match. One unforgettable moment perfectly captured what Eala was doing. Rybakina was serving to stay in the set. The pressure couldn't have been higher. Eala floated a low backhand slice that barely cleared the net. The ball stayed so low that Rybakina had no choice but to bend deeply and scoop it back into play. The reply landed short, just slightly short. Most players would have tried to blast a winner. Not Eala. She calmly stepped forward, waited for the perfect moment, and redirected the ball with incredible precision. No huge swing. No unnecessary power. Just perfect timing. The forehand kissed the sideline and disappeared past Rybakina before she could even react. The crowd erupted. Not because of raw power. Because they had just witnessed pure tennis intelligence. Moments later, Eala sealed the second set. The impossible suddenly looked possible. The favorite was rattled. The underdog had complete belief. And everyone watching started asking the same question. Could one of the biggest upsets of the season actually happen? Heading into the deciding set, momentum belonged to Alexandra Eala. But championships aren't won with momentum alone. They're won with endurance. And that's where the match began to change again. To frustrate Rybakina for nearly 2 hours had required an enormous physical effort. Every defensive sprint, every recovery step, every change of direction, every perfectly placed slice. It all came at a cost. Slowly, those incredible legs that carried Eala through the second set started losing their freshness. Her returns didn't stay quite as deep. Her slices floated just a little higher. Her angles became slightly less sharp. Against most opponents, those tiny differences might not matter. Against Elena Rybakina, they are everything. Sensing the shift immediately, Rybakina made an important adjustment. She stopped chasing spectacular winners. She stopped forcing impossible shots. Instead, she simplified her game. Heavy serves, deep ground strokes, relentless pressure. She trusted her fundamentals. And little by little, the momentum began slipping back in her favor. This is exactly why champions are so difficult to beat. When Plan A fails, they find Plan B. Rybakina no longer needed brilliance. She simply needed consistency. Eventually, Eala's exhausted legs could no longer sustain the incredible level she'd maintained throughout the second set. The errors increased. The rallies became shorter. The opening appeared. Rybakina stepped through it. She closed out the final set and secured the victory. On paper, it was another 3-set win. But anyone who watched knew something much bigger had happened. Because this match wasn't remembered for the final score. It was remembered for the questions it created. Alexandra Eala had revealed something few players ever managed to expose. She showed that power isn't invincible. She showed that intelligent shot selection can neutralize overwhelming force. She showed that patience can frustrate even the biggest hitters in the world. Most importantly, she planted doubt. And doubt is dangerous. The next time Rybakina faces a creative left-hander, she'll remember Berlin. She'll remember the endless slices, the awkward angles, the rallies that refuse to end. And yes, she'll remember the racket flying through the air. For Alexandra Eala, this wasn't a heartbreaking loss. It was a statement. She proved she belongs among the elite. She proved her style works on the biggest stages. She proved she doesn't need a 120-mile-per-hour serve to challenge the world's best. She simply needs time, more experience, a little more physical strength, and another opportunity. That's what makes this story so exciting. Eala isn't trying to become another power player. She's creating her own identity. In an era obsessed with bigger serves and harder forehands, she's bringing strategy, variety, and creativity back into the spotlight. That's incredibly rare in today's game. And if she continues developing at this pace, the rest of the WTA Tour should be paying very close attention. Because the next time she faces one of the sport's biggest stars, she may not let them escape. So when people look back at this Berlin match, they probably won't remember every point. They won't remember every statistic. They'll remember one unforgettable image: a frustrated champion throwing her racket, a silent stadium watching in disbelief, and one calm, fearless left-hander standing at the baseline, completely unfazed. Sometimes the biggest victories aren't recorded on the scoreboard. Sometimes they're measured by the message they send. Alexandra Eala didn't leave Berlin with a trophy. She left with something even more valuable: the belief that she can beat anyone. And perhaps more importantly, she made the entire tennis world believe it too. If this performance is any indication of what's coming next, one thing is certain. The next time Alexandra Eala steps onto the court against one of tennis' biggest names, no one will underestimate her again. Because Berlin wasn't the end of her story. It was only the beginning. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more incredible tennis stories, shocking match analyses, and behind-the-scenes moments from the biggest tournaments in the world, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments. Do you think Alexandra Eala has already discovered the formula to beat the tour's biggest power players? Or was Berlin simply a glimpse of what's still to come? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.